A reflection on gratitude. Life is a winding road, full of ups and downs, twists and turns. There are days when the sun shines bright and everything feels right with the world. Then there are the darker days, times of struggle, loss, or uncertainty, when we feel like we're walking through a storm with no umbrella. In those tough moments, many of us turn to God. We whisper a prayer, cry out for help, or simply sit in silence, hoping for a sign of comfort or direction. It's a natural instinct, a lifeline we reach for when the waves get too high. But here's the question that lingers. What happens when the storm passes? When the sky's clear and life starts to feel good again, do we pause to say, thank you? This reflection is about gratitude, not just as a nice thing to do, but as a way of living that keeps us connected to God and grounded in our own hearts. It's so easy to forget, isn't it? When we're hurting, we're quick to ask for strength or healing. But when the blessings come, when we get that job, when our health improves, or when a quiet peace settles in, we often move on without looking back. It's not that we mean to be ungrateful. It's just human nature to get caught up in the next thing. Yet taking time to thank God isn't just about good manners. It's about building a relationship, nourishing our souls, and finding joy even in the ordinary, the storms we face and the help we seek. Let's start by thinking about those hard times. Maybe you've been there, a season when life felt heavier than you could carry. It could have been the loss of someone you loved, a diagnosis that turned your world upside down, or a stretch of months when the bills kept piling up and the bank account stayed empty. In those moments, it's like the ground beneath you shakes, and you're not sure where to step next. For me, I remember a time a few years back when I was juggling a stressful job and a family emergency. Every day felt like a battle, and I'd lie awake at night wondering how I'd get through it. I prayed a lot during that time, not fancy prayers, just honest ones. God, please help me. I can't do this alone. And you know what? Somehow, I did get through it. A friend showed up with a meal when I didn't have energy to cook. A coworker offered to take something off my plate. Little by little, the pieces came together, and I could breathe again. Looking back, I see God's hand in those moments. Not in a loud, dramatic way, but in the quiet kindnesses that carried me forward. That's how it often works, doesn't it? We ask for help, and it comes, sometimes in ways we don't expect. But here's where the story shifts. Once the crisis passed, life got busy again. I jumped back into my routine, work, errands, the usual chaos, and I didn't stop to reflect on how I'd made it through. I didn't say thank you to God or even take a moment to feel the relief fully. It wasn't intentional. I just didn't think about it. And I wonder how many of us do the same. We're so focused on surviving the storm that when the sun comes out, we forget to appreciate the warmth. The power of pausing to say thanks. Gratitude changes that. It's like hitting the pause button on life's remote control, giving us a chance to look around and notice what's good. It doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes it's as simple as whispering, "Thank you, God, for getting me through that." Other times, it's sitting down and really thinking about the blessings we might have overlooked. The Bible gives us a perfect example of this in the story of the 10 lepers. These men were desperate, suffering from a disease that isolated them from everyone they loved. When they met Jesus and begged for healing, he answered their plea. All 10 were cured, an incredible gift, but only one came back to thank him. Just one. That story sticks with me because it's so relatable. 9 of those men got what they wanted and kept going. Maybe they were too excited, too distracted, or just didn't think it mattered. But the one who returned, he got something more than healing. He got a moment with Jesus, a connection that went deeper than the miracle itself. That's what gratitude does for us. It's not just about acknowledging the gift. It's about staying close to the giver. Think about your own life for a second. What's a healing you've experienced? Maybe it was a relationship that mended after months of tension, or a time when you felt lost but found your way back to hope. Did you take a moment to thank God for that? If not, it's okay. There's no guilt trip here. The beauty of gratitude is that it's never too late to start. Even today, you can look back and say, wow, I see you in that now. Thank you. Everyday blessings. Finding God in the small stuff. Gratitude isn't just for the big wins, though. It's also about the little things, the moments that slip by if we're not paying attention. I've started noticing how much joy there is in the ordinary when I take time to appreciate it. Like this morning, I made a cup of coffee, and as I sat there with it warming my hands, I thought, this is a gift. The smell, the quiet before the day got loud, the fact that I had a cozy spot to sit, it all felt like a tiny hug from God. Or yesterday, when I was walking my dog and a neighbor waved hello. It's nothing earth-shattering, but it made me smile, and I thank God for that little spark of connection. Those small blessings are everywhere if we look for them. The sound of rain tapping on the roof, a text from a friend checking in, the way the sunlight filters through the trees. They're reminders that God's not just there in the emergencies. He's in the everyday too. And when we thank Him for those things, it's like we're weaving a thread of joy through our lives. It keeps us tethered to Him, even when everything else feels chaotic. How gratitude heals us inside. There's something else about gratitude that's worth mentioning. It's good for us, not just spiritually, but emotionally too. I read somewhere that people who practice gratitude regularly feel happier and less stressed. It makes sense when you think about it. When you focus on what's going right, even if it's small, the stuff that's going wrong doesn't seem as overwhelming. It's not about pretending everything's perfect. It's about finding light in the cracks. I've seen this in my own life. A while back, I was stuck in a rut, feeling grumpy about everything. Work was annoying, the house was a mess, and I couldn't shake this blah feeling. One night, I decided to try something different. I grabbed a notebook and wrote down 3 things I was thankful for that day. It wasn't easy at first. I think I started with, I didn't spill my coffee and the dog didn't chew my shoes. But as I kept going, I noticed more. A kind word from my boss, the way the sunset painted the sky orange, a funny meme a friend sent. By the end of the week, I felt lighter. Nothing huge had changed, but my heart had. That's the magic of gratitude. It shifts how we see the world. Instead of zooming in on what's missing, we start to see what's there. And when we thank God for it, we're inviting Him into that shift. It's like saying, I see you here, and I'm glad you're with me. Making gratitude a habit. So how do we make this a part of our lives, not just a one-time thing, but a habit? It doesn't have to be fancy or time-consuming. One idea is to keep a gratitude journal. Every night, jot down a few things you're thankful for. It could be as simple as a good sandwich, or as deep as a second chance. If writing's not your thing, try a gratitude jar. Grab a mason jar, some scraps of paper, and whenever something good happens, scribble it down and toss it in. Then, on a tough day or at the end of the year, pull them out and read them. It's like a treasure chest of blessings you forgot you had. You could also weave gratitude into your prayers. I've started doing this lately. After I ask God for help with whatever's on my mind, I take a minute to thank Him for something specific. Last night it was, thanks for the rain. It made everything smell fresh. It feels good, like a conversation instead of just a wish list. Or maybe set a reminder on your phone. Once a day, it pings you to pause and think of one thing you're grateful for. It could be at breakfast, during your commute, or right before bed. Another way is to share it with others. Tell someone you appreciate them, or post about it online. Not to brag, but to spread the vibe. Imagine if we all did that a little more. Thanked God out loud and lifted each other up. It'd be like ripples in a pond, spreading peace wherever they go. Gratitude as a bridge to God. At its core, gratitude is about relationship. When we thank God, we're not just checking a box, we're turning toward Him. It's an act of trust, a way of saying, I know you're here and I'm not taking it for granted. He's not some distant figure waiting for us to mess up. He's a loving presence who's with us through it all. And when we acknowledge that, it deepens our bond with Him. Think of it like a friendship. If a friend helps you move or listens when you're upset, you don't just take it and run. You say thanks, maybe treat them to coffee. It keeps the connection alive. With God, it's the same. He's always giving. Life, love, second chances, and gratitude is our way of staying close, of keeping the conversation going. A challenge for today. So here's a little challenge. Take a moment today to reflect. What's one thing you're thankful for right now? Maybe it's something big, like a prayer that was answered, or something small, like the smell of fresh laundry. Hold it in your heart for a second, then say thank you to God. Out loud, in your head, whatever feels right. Let that feeling settle in. And if you can, carry it forward. Look for one more thing tomorrow and the next day until it becomes part of who you are. Life's not always easy, and gratitude doesn't erase the hard stuff, but it does light the way. It reminds us that we're not alone, that God's love is steady even when the world shakes. So let's be like that one leper who turned back, not out of duty, but out of love. Let's thank God not just for the miracles, but for the quiet graces that fill our days. Because in the end, gratitude isn't just a practice. It's a gift we give ourselves, a key to peace, and a bridge to the one who's always waiting with open arms. After watching, remember to like and subscribe to the channel. I have many good videos to share. Learn to give, and God will give you peace.